Okay, so now the second topic we are going to cover is reversible cell injury. So in the previous topic we learned that the commonest cell injury is hypoxia, right? So what happens when there is hypoxia? The first cell organelle that it affects is going to be the mitochondria, because mitochondria readily takes up oxygen and uses it for the ATP formation, because as we know mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell, right? So if there is less oxygen, so the ATP formation amount will decrease, and so it is going to affect all the other organelles which mainly are energy dependent. So which organelles are mainly energy dependent? So we are going to start with the first organelle, which is cell membrane. So the cell membrane, if there is reduction of ATP, so considering the cell membrane, if there is a decrease in the formation of ATP, so we can see a decreased activity of sodium potassium pump. Now what happens when there is a decreased activity of sodium potassium pump? It will be the increase of sodium in the cell, because over here we can see that in this pump the sodium goes out and the potassium comes in. So if there is a problem with this pump, the sodium will not go out, so there will be increased concentration inside the cell. So what happens when there is an increased concentration of sodium? So there will be water retention. So there is increased water in the cell, which is leading to cellular swelling. Another important thing to keep in mind is that the coupling ratio of sodium and potassium is going to be 3:2, which is normally asked in the exam. You should keep it in mind. And the changes which we can see over here are the swelling of other organelles and myelin figures. Now, what are the myelin figures? Myelin figures are small and spiral fragments derived either from cell membrane or the membrane of organelles. Myelin figures are made up of phospholipids, right? So here a question can come, like the examiner can test you, like what are the biochemical composition of myelin figures? So over here we can see that it is derived either from cell membrane or the membrane of organelles. So we know that they are made up of phospholipids. Biochemical composition will be phospholipid. So now going into the endoplasmic reticulum. So the endoplasmic reticulum has two parts. One is rough endoplasmic reticulum and another is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So the rough endoplasmic reticulum deals with the protein synthesis. So if decrease of ATP occurs, then the ribosomes will break away and cause decrease in protein synthesis. And in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, we know that it deals with the metabolism of lipids or steroids and metabolism of xenobiotics. So decrease in ATP will cause or hamper the metabolism. Now we also know that smooth endoplasmic reticulum is also known as microsomes. And coming to the third organelle, which is the nucleus. So in nucleus, if there is decrease in oxygen, we can see, so if glycolysis is increased, so there will be an increase in pyruvic acid and lactate formation, which generally leads to acidosis, and acidosis leads to clumping of chromatin. So summing up the flowchart, if there is decrease in oxygen, the glycolysis will increase, which will be followed by increase in pyruvic acid and lactate formation, which then leads to acidosis and clumping of chromatin. So there are a few questions which need to be kept in mind. Number one is the first organelle affected, which is going to be mitochondria. Second is the coupling ratio, which is 3:2. Third is first microscopic feature, which is cellular swelling. Over here we have seen that the water in the cell increases, which leads to cellular swelling. So this is the first microscopic change. It generally comes in the exams. The fourth one will be biochemical composition of myelin figures, which is phospholipids. The fifth one is protein synthesis done by rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the last one is the only nuclear change associated with reversible cellular injury, which is clumping of chromatin, which has a patchy condensation.